What can turn that around? It's not some kind of administrative measure or a policy. This is the facts of life under the capitalist system that we live in. In order to challenge that and to hold the politicians that we elect to office accountable, we need a class break. We need to break from the politics of supporting the capitalists and their parties. And we need to start running things ourselves.
Thank you. Ms. Robinson.
Yeah, the problem is always the solution, right? So we have to figure out what the problem is before we start flinging out all these solutions. So after the 08-09 housing market crash, the city faced a financial crisis. We actually had accountability metrics in place. And then in 2016, they started laundering off that with these one-time payments, right? You get these one-time cash injections, and you start hiring people. And now you've got these permanent responsibilities. Well, fast forward to today, we're in a second commercial real estate collapse. I mean, it's a real estate collapse. Great depression of real estate, and it's a historic collapse. So everybody has economic problems right now. We're not the only city, but the problem is the solution. We wandered off of our accountability metrics that was created after the 08-09 crash. We have to get back to that. And that's some of the painful things that are happening now. We actually do have to reduce headcount. We do have to get back to the program. But look, folks, we got to get our revenue up in the city, in general fund, and that's the reality. And this city doesn't even have a business plan. Our business plan expired 5 years ago. So how do you have a city like ours that's in the middle of a financial crisis and we don't have a plan to fix this? And I'm tired of Oakland acting like San Francisco's ugly little stepsister. What are we doing? Waiting around for San Francisco to recover so we can be housing for them? I mean, we have an opportunity to separate ourselves from San Francisco once and for all. Let's not just get back on our accountability plan, but let's create a world-class city here and take advantage of this crisis to become the Oakland that we all want to be. Let's get away from San Francisco.
So for the sake of this, I am going to repeat the question just to make sure everybody's on point. Oakland has struggled with financial mismanagement in the past. What accountability measures will you put in place to ensure greater transparency and efficiency in city spending?
Thank you. Well, first of all, this is a decades and decades long problem, what they've done to Oakland. It didn't start yesterday, go back to the 1970s, go back to the 60s. So what we have to do to make it accountable is we need to go in there and look at the entire financial operation of the city, which has not had an audit, I think, outside audit federal. And we need to get down to look at it, because I believe there's a lot of money that has been used in speculation, in Wall Street speculation, derivatives, and other things which have actually destroyed the city. Also, a lot of, the way that where the money goes. See, we have a lot of nonprofits. I believe we can do away with most of those nonprofits if we get to the cause and actually make the city productive again. That's why I want to bring in a Doge to clean out the financial thing. We need an accountability. And we need to go deep. This is not a surface question. And at the same time, we need to absolutely look at the fact that if you don't put your funds into actually industrialization, manufacturing, real production, you'll never ever get out of the crisis that it's in. And that's why I make that a priority, as well as looking at right now into putting not the back pocket of a lot of people, but the population. I'm old school, and I grew up when, people had families, one person working, and you had, mom home raising the kids, and you had a healthy family life. And that's what I'm going to make Hope is accountable in this period. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's not so much that it's the money that's mismanaged. I think it's stolen,
right? From these NGOs that have no accountability whatsoever. I mean, we have to get back to our basics. I mean, we don't even have a 911 service. When I called 911, they would show up like next day. How's that gonna help? Ain't gonna help me. So what we need to do is the city needs to new ways of fundraising, in which I could easily do by having people come pay like $200 to my seminars, and I'll be teaching them how to be billionaires, and we'll be doing a lot of proactive ways to make ourselves wealthy. I mean, there's a lot of ways that we could fundraise using Lake Merritt, for example. We could put a giant water slide right there and have kids, you know, and their families come pay, and they'll just play with the water. You know? We can have a lot of these activities. I would turn every sizable park in Oakland into unique entertainment for our children, and it would be a great fundraiser.
Thank you. So now I'm going to jump to another hot topic issue, which is around public safety and policing. And I'll start with Ms. Robinson. So, safety and clean streets in East Oakland are egregious. Issues such as sideshows, fireworks, violence, abandoned vehicles, and illegally parked on sidewalks are rampant. What is your plan to improve community safety while ensuring fair and accountable policing, addressing the staffing shortages in the Oakland Police Department, and investing in violence prevention programs?
Yeah, thank you. This is the number one issue, right? We can't get our businesses back until we fix our public safety. So look, Oakland has never had enough police officers. I've been involved in public safety since 2017. People were calling us in 2017 before the pandemic, asking us like, hey, how are you guys doing what you're doing with such a small team of officers? So fast forward to today, we don't have enough police officers and our public safety has collapsed. So remember, the problem is always the solution. So what's going on here that our public safety has collapsed? And I think that our police chief said it at a police commission meeting, the culture of our department has collapsed on the inside and the police officers are not doing their jobs. I did not say that, he said that. You can go look at the video. So the officers aren't doing their jobs, there's a culture of fear in the department. We've seen the police chief fired, the interim police chief fired, 5 20-year veteran officers fired. Think about yourselves if you work for a company and you just get out of college and you're working there and everyone starts getting fired. What would it be like working in a place like that? So the culture has collapsed and we have to fix that. The second thing that's going on is around our officer levels. We know we have to get more officers and it's a revenue problem. So we've got to get revenue up to get the right number of officers per capita. We have an issue right now with them trying to cancel our community policing. So I've been involved in community policing since 2017. You have an army of volunteers across Oakland and are trying to cancel us in a financial crisis. And we're here working at the block level to make our neighborhoods safe, to knock on doors, to make sure our seniors are okay. How do you cancel that in a crisis? And finally, we need action, okay? We need to light a fire under people's you-know-whats because it's taking too long to make basic decisions on public safety, like our police pursuit policy, fixing the tech issues, and I'm all out of time, but I can talk about it forever.
We'll jump to Ms. Sweeney.
First of all, we need to communicate with as many community groups and districts in Oakland as we can and determine what people want from the police in Oakland. I'm very committed to public safety in Oakland. I grew up in a bilingual, bicultural English-Spanish household with a mother from South America and father from California, so I wanted to make sure the Spanish-speaking residents and English-speaking residents of Oakland felt safe. I applied to be a police officer in 2023-2024. Was ranked #1 after the interview and agility test that was told I would probably disqualified for administrative reasons first year because I was not told about one reference deadline. So after the police officer hiring process is very expensive. It takes hundreds of dollars to apply and months and months to apply. If someone's hired on day one, they're expected to pay $1,000 for a police uniform. So I know there's plenty of people applying to be police officers that represent our wonderful community, represent our diverse community, but unfortunately it's not an environment hiring hiring process. So I would streamline the hiring process, but also talk to the current officers about what they need, what they want. I understand there's only 8 detective positions in Oakland. There probably needs to be more. So current police officers also need to be invited into the concept of having more officers and having that not be a threat to maybe like what they currently want in Oakland or the detective position. So we need to just start with more communication first off. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kuchar. Ms. Lewis.
Well, the first thing that you have to do if you're going to make Oakland safe is you have to get rid of the city ordinances. Most people don't realize this, and I've learned this from doing about 6 ride-alongs with the East Oakland Police and others. The Oakland City ordinances prevent our police from doing their duties. They tie their hands, and they're not allowed to pursue in all kinds of criminal situations unless it's highly violent or something that is basically like a red alert. And if we don't change the city ordinances, I do believe we need more police officers. I know there's not enough. So we have to increase, but we also have to get rid of those city ordinances. And we need to get rid of the oversight on our police, because what it's doing is crippling the good officers from doing their job. And Robert Warshaw, who's the Federal Oversight Commission, he's a professional who makes a lot of money, and he's used to hire all over the country. He's not helping Oakland. He needs to go. And we need to be able to make sure that our police, at this point, we open our academies again. I can't believe the Oakland City Council, to save money, cut the 2 existing academies to train our officers. And the last thing I'll just say, because my time is up, hope more questions on this, because there's a lot more to say.
All right, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. As a lifetime member of the NAACP, I am proud to have partnered with the Oakland branch of the NAACP when it comes to fighting for the safety that we need in our community. The Black community is both over-policed and under-policed at the same time. It takes forever to get response when we need it, and we've got folks abusing the power and over-policing at times, putting us in danger. I am proud to have served on the council, actually wrestling with our tough challenges when it comes to public safety. I stood up against the defund movement when there were council members not from East Oakland, not connected to the community, that were pushing for a $50 million reduction in our public safety fund without a plan for how we were going to keep each other safe in the meantime. At the same time, while standing up against that, I doubled down on my commitment to reimagining what public safety could and should be, how we restore and increase the positive relationships between police and community, how we invest in proven violence prevention strategies, how we ensure that we are holding officers accountable for going beyond what constitutional policing is. In my district, I helped to bring 48 additional officers to the ground on patrol by changing how the police department was structured. And at the same time, while I was in office, my district saw a decrease in violent crime by 8% when the rest of the city increased. It's real proven experience that we need in City Hall, riding on that momentum, that energy to address our other tough challenges. That's what I look forward to doing. Thank you.
I'll have the police chief issue permanent concealed carry permits to anyone who wants who does business in the city or just come through the city. If you want one, if you pass a background check, you can have it. Because let me tell you something. There's a lot of scenarios in which I had to, pull out a gun against these people, and one of them, like 5 squatters at my commercial property at night. And when I went to check on it, I have to pull guns on these people. And unfortunately, the sheriff arrested me instead. So that was kind of weird, That's not something that should happen in America. You should have the right to defend your property at all times. And when that sheriff pulled, they say, hey, we're going to take you to jail. I'm like, this is weird. This is backwards. So what I'm going to do for Oakland instead is, if you want to have a gun on you at all times, I'm going to do it. Have to. California will just want to come to Oakland and they pay $200 for a lifetime carry permit. We can raise hundreds of millions of dollars. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simpson.
Thanks. The social crisis that was referred to in the sideshows, etc., is not caused by the police department. And hiring more cops will not resolve the social crisis in Oakland. Neither will getting rid of the police force solve the social crisis in Oakland. Defunding won't solve the social crisis, hasn't solved the social crisis. The culture of brutality within the police force was, has been revealed over and over, and the limits have been put on what the police can get away with by the movements against police brutality of which I've been a part. It's something we should be proud of, that we marched, protested, and revealed the brutality of the police force and set them back. In fact, police officers have even gone to prison as a result of their actions. My party stood in solidarity with the prison hunger strikers when they organized the unprecedented 40,000 hunger strike against unlimited solitary confinement, indefinite solitary confinement. And that shows the humanity and power and where the source of the problem, of the solution